So in situations like this, where ChatGPT gets to be kind of terse, well, not terse, because you can see the output that it's giving me, but I thought I thought that I was relatively clear with what I was asking for, which is that I wanted a version that I could click, the copy code button on. And that's why I asked for a new version of it, meaning a new version of the post. But it interpreted it to mean, it interpreted what I said to mean. Let me see another list of these hashtags. And when it gets to do this sort of thing, it makes me feel like, it's being, what's the term? Maliciously compliant. So that's why I, thank it for what it does. It tends to be a little bit more accommodating of the way that you phrase things. I don't know. So I'm going to tell it did a great job, and then I'm going to talk about how we're not understanding each other, or it's not understanding me. We'll see how it responds. Now that I've read through this list, these are all terrible. I would never click on these. I think I'm just going to go with the original version. All right, so this is the thing that I love about Copilot. If you are using it, it would make a lot of sense for it to have access to every tab that you have open, but in my experience, if you reference something in a tab that's open, it's simply going to tell you, I don't have access to that. And I can understand and I can appreciate wanting to err on the side of caution and not giving an AI unfettered access to someone's hard drive or someone's screen. Like, everything that is being shared should be shared intentionally. So I get that, but I do wish it was a little bit more robust. So the way that I get Copilot to do what I needed to do is I just give it tons and tons of context. So I'm copying this new section that I've added into my Jinja template. I'm going back here and I'm going to highlight this section so that Copilot knows this is the area that I'm wanting to loop over this stuff. And so I'm going to hit new chat so it clears out the context I had already. And now I'm going to describe what I'm trying to do. Now, the reason that I selected line 182 when it wasn't selected before is because I want to be extra sure that the AI has all the context it needs. Now, it should, have everything in this file in memory, but it gives specific focus to the stuff that's highlighted. But you can't tell it that it's highlighted because then it says, I'm sorry, I can't see things that are highlighted, which is bullshit. So let's briefly go over what I'm telling it to do here. So I'm telling it, I need to output some data to my log file. I'd like to iterate over the social media key in my stored data dictionary. Bear in mind that each social media platform has a different purpose, culture, and style, and therefore a different set of key value pairs. Please design the loop accordingly. Here's the data structure: social media, and then that's the outer one. Then we have YouTube, and then we have title, description, tag, everything specific to that platform. And so what I've already got is, we know that the outer set of keys is going to be the platform, but the inner set of keys is what we care about. So this is likely going to need to be a double loop of some sort, and I don't really care about the details. I know that the first pass of what Copilot does is going to be close enough. So once I've wrapped everything in triple backticks, we'll see what it suggests. All right, see, it's being like, it feels like it's being obtuse. It feels like it should understand more about this file because it would know that I've already got logger imported. Like it's acting like it can't read my entire file. And that's crazy. Like I don't care what I have highlighted. Like I would like to know, or at least set some preferences about what I want the AI to know for any particular project. I know that everyone has different needs, but this stuff is so cool and you should be able to customize it to the degree that you want. I have no idea what that error means. And that's never a good feeling to have. So I'm going to load ChatGPT. I have a custom GPT called RubberDuck AI. And I use it for situations where Copilot just is going to be useless. So I'm going to take this error message. Oh wait, all of these containers exited, so let's see what the console says. I don't think the console is set up. It's going to take a second while I connect it. Well, that's a little bit annoying. I was just talking about what's going on for the past 30 seconds. Forgot to unmute myself. All right, so the problem is that I don't think I remember starting this project up today. So when I hit restart, it probably didn't restart everything at the same time in the same way, in the way that it needed to. And so that's probably why everything failed. So I'm going to try to start Docker the proper way, and then after I do that, I'll try it again. Now I realize that this is Docker Desktop and I should be able to rely on it being the same, but sometimes there seems to be a weird interplay between how you interact with it on the console versus the behavior on the desktop. Who knows? Nobody knows everything. So now I'm going to navigate to the appropriate directory. It's going to be git projects, vanilla sky, ls. All right, so that's a good reminder. I do need to send directory structure back to ChatGPT if this winds up not being the issue. I'm thinking a couple steps ahead. I should be focusing on the actual thing, which is Docker. So Docker ps. Yeah, nothing's actively running, so Docker compose up D, and that'll start everything at the same time. I mean, that should be the equivalent to going into Docker and clicking this play button right here, but I prefer to do things a particular way. One of my quirks. All right, enter. Let's see what happens. All right, starts the containers and Docker PS. Looks like one of them crashed. That's okay. But we should have logs. Error from daemon stream, error gapping logs, invalid character, looking for beginning of value. All right, so if it's having trouble with our logs, let me check the actual logs and just clear them out. All right, so that was not the issue. So the next step is to talk to ChatGPT and ask what it thinks is going on. I'm going to have to describe my project because this version of ChatGPT has no idea what I'm working on or anything about the project. So I'm going to give it my directory structure. And that's updated. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, you're not on VS Code. I don't know why it's not coming up. It seems like every time I open a brand new window, the references break. And it's annoying to remember this. Okay, so this is the directory structure, and this should allow ChatGPT to infer a lot about what my project is, the way that it works, etc. Once it understands this stuff, it can make a better recommendation about what to do. I was wrong. The name of the file is project structure, not directory structure. I regret the error. As you can see, now that I've given it enough context, it's giving me plenty of really good suggestions. It gives me several possible causes, and then it starts walking me through what I can do. And, I'll follow these steps. Not all of them are going to work. It could be hallucinating some of the stuff, but it works more often than not, and it's worth using it as your first resort when you get stuck on something, especially something where you have no idea what the issue could possibly be. So it seems like this is a dead end. ChatGPT was suggesting that, I clear the data, but when I followed it, it wound up taking me here. And I don't want to get rid of, all of the images on my disk. I think I should just clear out the current disk and try again. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to hit X, go back out here, select everything, and I'm going to hit delete. And that will get rid of everything related to Docker for these containers. Then we'll restart and see if it works. So that was the issue. Something internal about Docker, it didn't like one of the things that had been written. And I think I know what the actual issue was. So we're going to go back to VS Code. So in the log files, part of what it was doing was writing out the data it received for the images that it's creating. And so a lot of this data was in bytecode from the looks of it. Well, it's not showing up here. I had that loop going for a while. All right, I'm not sure why it's not there, but it's okay. Anyway, we got rid of those weird characters, and now I can actually troubleshoot the code. Well, that's kind of a dumb mistake. It all came from the fact that when I copied and pasted from Copilot, I got the indentation wrong, and in Python, that matters. So this is the issue that I have with the OpenAI image generation. It constantly gives you false positives for inappropriate content. So let's read through this and see if we can figure out, why it may have decided not to make this image. So if I look at, first, I always check the moderation endpoint, and then we look at these numbers. So we see that it's an object called categories, and it lists various categories that it might, flag. So harassment is false, threatening harassment is false, hate is false, threatening hate is false, self-harm is false, self-harm instructions false, self-harm intent false, sexual minors false, violence false, violence graphic false, self-harm false. It's all false. Category scores, harassment 5.95 to the negative 5 exponent. Yeah, these are all very, very small. The biggest one is harassment threatening with a 0. But overall, this is flagged as false. So I would imagine that this is meant to go through. So let's see what it says. Generating image. So I'm passing in the entire narrative, passing in the name of the fairy tale, which is the Bamboo Cutter's Legacy, the Bamboo Cutter's Legacy Amulet Promise. We list our characters, Hina, Yoshi. We have the setting, we have the moral, we have the step, which is the processing step, and we have the image description. So, image description is this: Yoshi, the village elder, sharing ancient tales with children under the moonlight, no text or numbers. That's probably what it was. Yoshi, the village elder, sharing ancient tales with children. It's because the image features children that the endpoint kind of freaked out on me. That's important information. That's good to know. Sorry, I got distracted by an email. All right, so what needs to be done to fix this? First of all, the endpoint needs to become a little bit less sensitive, but because the stakes are so high and it's so important to make sure that that the art the AI generates is safe and, is not harmful, then, it's okay that this inconveniences me. So I think I need to update my prompt to say that all of my characters should be teenagers or young adults. Because if the prompt knows that everyone in the picture is an adult, it should freak out a lot less. So that should be a relatively easy thing to change. I just need to figure out where in the application that it should change. So let's head back to the VS Code. And I'm going to look at each of these prompts. What's pre-processing? Well, not what is it. I'm just trying to figure out the appropriate place to put this. What happened? Why did they disappear? There we go. We're back. We are so back. Okay, so here's the first change: a list of main characters containing key value pairs of their names and descriptions. All characters depicted are young adults, which should be explicitly stated in the image descriptions. And then I just look for every other place that the AI is going to be sending me back information about these characters, and then I make the same change there. So let's check. Oh wait, down here under character development as well. That's another good place to add it. So under character development, all characters depicted are young adults. All right, processing. So I'm going to do a search for characters. And then we'll put it here again. All characters depicted are young adults. Then we go to our script step. All right, ensure that all characters who are generated from the region are from the region the story was originally told. And then I'm going to say, remember that all characters depicted are young adults. The problem with these large language models is you never know which part of your instructions they're going to respect. It's possible that they can interpret something you say in a weird way, and so that gives you weird output. So if something is really important, like it is here, you need to look for every possible chance to remind the large language model about what it is that you're trying to do. Now, a lot of this stuff is repeated over and over, and since I'm in the beginning stages of this project, and I haven't settled on a final methodology for the way that the prompts should work and when information should be shared, I'm okay with having lots of repetition. Once I get to the stage where I'm fine-tuning things, that's when I optimize. If I optimize too early in the process, then you run the risk of getting stuck in this loop of continually optimizing and never actually shipping anything out. All right, it looks like we are nearly out of time. Got about 8 minutes left. And now finally we are here at the images, and here we just need to make sure that we, again, specify that they're adults. Okay. So I think we're ready to try this again. Going back to Docker. Reload. And now we wait to see if the project works. Once this run is over, for better or for worse, I'm calling it quits for the day. So thank you very much for joining, and I hope to see you next time. Planning to be back tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 4, and then tomorrow night we have the Ben Smith Show from 7 to 9, all times are Eastern Standard. Thanks a lot. Have a fantastic day. All right. So it looks like it successfully went through everything, and it even generated the things I asked it to. So this would be, for YouTube, this would be Peter Rabbit's Garden Gala, A Triumph of Unity. Description: dive into a magical adventure where Peter Rabbit and friends combat a threatening blight with innovation and heart. Discover their journey of unity, technology, and the spirit of community in this enchanting sequel. Tags: Peter Rabbit, Community Garden, Eco Friendly Solutions, Harvest Festival, Unity. Okay, so these are not good tags, but that's okay. They're not hashtags, they absolutely should be. Looks like I got it right for TikTok. So the caption is: watch Peter Rabbit and crew heal their garden and hearts in an epic fight against blight. Peter Rabbit, Garden Gala, Unity University. It did it. That's awesome. All right, so let's take a look at what the output is. Now I'm going to be, let's turn off the background music. And I'm going to add in my desktop audio. We're going to listen to this stuff together, and we'll see how it goes. All right, sources, screen capture. I'm working on this, on securely showing you my desktop. All right, there's that. I've got to make sure that my screen capture audio is set up correctly. Let's pull up the first audio.
Once upon a time.
Okay, it's coming through, so let me turn that down a bit. Sorry for blowing you out.
Once upon a time in
a... Okay, so I'm gonna play this audio and we're gonna go through the images. So we gotta go back to VS Code. Sorry, I'm gotta do the same thing again in this new scene. All right, now I just need to make VS Code visible. Here we are. All right, generated files, April 4th. Images, and now we have Peter Rabbit. Let's take a quick look at what the bamboo cutter looked like. Oh, that's nice. Wow, that is so cool. All right, I don't know what that story was supposed to be, but it looked interesting. Okay, so I'm going to play... let me turn off the background music. Sorry about that. I don't have my headphones on, so I'm not really hearing what you're hearing. All right. Peter Rabbit.
Once upon a time, in a chapter yet untold, We rejoin beloved characters from a magical world where animals and humans work harmoniously to nurture the earth that sustains them. In this thriving modern-day community garden, Peter Rabbit, alongside Benjamin Bunny, Lily Bobtail, and the reformed Mr. McGregor, face a dire threat as a mysterious blight endangers their beloved harvest festival.
Okay, that is kind of an unsettling image. Holy hell. Like, everyone's just staring at you. AI is definitely not to the point where we can cut humans out. Like, humans need to be involved at every step of this process. Like, yes, I'm literally working on a project to automate this, but like, as I go through this, I'm starting to see, why, we have to keep humans at the loop at this point. We just can't trust this tech yet. All right. Number 3.
Peter, with his boundless curiosity and Lily's innovative mind, propose leveraging ancient wisdom and futuristic technology to combat the blight, demonstrating the strength of merging old and new.
Okay, I think if I were giving ChatGPT feedback, I'd say it's great that you came up with a villain called the Blight. That's a solid villain name, but you need to tell us where the Blight came from. How did people understand that the Blight was a threat? And this just means I need to update the prompt. I haven't been detailed enough. This is not an instance of ChatGPT not being capable. It simply doesn't have the information that it needs.
Under Benjamin's watchful eye, they apply their eco-friendly solution to the garden. Each plant treated symbolizes a step towards healing, not just for the nature around them, but for the spirit of their community.
Yeah, and that's one of the AI telltales at this point. Let's play that again.
It symbolizes a step to the garden. Each plant treated symbolizes a step towards healing, not just for the nature around them.
Okay. Each X symbolizes Y, not just A, but B. It's a very formulaic way of phrasing it, and ChatGPT loves it. But that is a minor quibble.
The garden blossoms anew, a vibrant testament to resilience, collaboration, and the transformative power of redemption, particularly reflecting on Mr. McGregor's journey from adversary to invaluable ally.
Particularly reflecting on, that is another ChatGPT tell.
As the Harvest Festival unfolds, it's far more than a celebration of the season. It's a vibrant showcase of unity, diversity, and the combined strength of a community that dared to embrace both its roots and the winds of change.
Yeah, it feels like the narration is diverging from the images that have been generated.
Their success whispers to us a timeless truth. In unity, there is strength. In diversity, innovation. And in compassion, the seeds of a brighter future, ready to blossom in the hearts of all who dare to care.
Yeah, I think it went off the rails a little bit because the narration really doesn't match up with these images at all. But the images themselves are impressive. I mean, they're still not a consistent art style. We're still getting the issue with the vertical, the landscape in vertical mode when it should just be a vertical picture. I mean, by and large, it does a great job. But really what you need is, like, we have an agent that's generating this. We need another agent that checks that what has been done is appropriate. And we need to set these up as a loop. So, we come up with the prompts, we dispatch them to DALL-E to create, and then after it gets created, we then go back to a different agent that says, hey, here's what it was supposed to do, here's the output, please evaluate it, is this correct? We'd need to hook that up with GPT Vision, which sounds expensive, but that would be one way of ensuring that the output is exactly what you want. I think I'm making good progress towards what I'm trying to do. All right, well, I really am going this time. Thank you so much for joining. It was great to have a little bit of company, and I hope to see you again